So psyched to be here. And thank you, Abby and Eben. There were a few significant takeaways for me from what Eben said. Do I remember them all now that the session has passed? No. But you know what? The hospitality technology team has been carefully taking note of the key takeaways, and I will go to hospitalitytech.com later this week to enjoy Eben's great key takeaways. And that's my way of saying I'm editor-in-chief of Hospitality Technology, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Since 1997, now do you remember hotel technology in 1997? Some of you do. We have been the key media brand supplying business intelligence to the hospitality technology community. We'll continue to do so. I'm proud to be the leader since 2020. We're producing more digital content than ever before, reaching more people than ever before, so I just urge you to visit hospitalitytech.com and enjoy everything we do. I'm going to get right into our next session. As Abby said, we are talking about alternative revenue streams for hotels. And this is in the form of a symposium. We're going to hear four gentlemen, each with a compelling story, and maybe most important to all of you in this room, some takeaways that you can bring home. Gentlemen, you're going to run your own slides. I'll leave the slide clicker up here on the podium. I'm happy to introduce our first speaker. Brian McConnell is Vice President of F&B and Operations at RC Hospitality. Brian, come on up.
Know how to work this thing. My name is Brian McConnell, and I work for RC Hospitality Solutions. It's a modest hospitality services company in Northwest Florida, Panama City Beach to be specific, home of the world's most beautiful beaches. And before I really get into this program, I want everybody to know that I'm not a professional speaker. I sell hamburgers and sunshine for a living, so I apologize, if I seem a little nervous at times. So, let's see. There we go. So the company, RC Hospitality Solutions, we do a lot of different hospitality services for resorts in Northwest Florida. We provide F&B management, rental management, association management, and a whole bunch more. One of the tenets of our company is really to try to create lifelong memories for all the customers and guests we serve. And we use technology to really kind of be at the forefront of that. So we're going to take a look at two examples today that we kind of have set aside. The first one has two real parts on how technology has improved our business. We're going to zoom in on our signature property, Edgewater Beach and Golf Resort, and look at how some antiquated revenue streams have been improved vastly by the use of technology. Now, Florida's a tourist state. There's NASCAR, and there's NASA, and there's Mickey, and there's a whole lot more. Well, Panama City Beach doesn't have any of that. What we have are some sugar white sands and emerald green waters that we have as our top attraction, and really drives people to our destination. So on our sugar white sands, the best industry and the top industry, and it's been there for 30 years, is beach service. And our beach service, believe it or not, in Panama City Beach has not changed in 3 decades. It's a beach attendant, it's a pencil, it's a clipboard, and it's cash. And in this day and age with technology, cash can be a little bit limiting. So we wanted to look for ways to be able to improve that service. And when we went to try to find a company or a partner in technology to improve this service, there's a couple things we really wanted to focus on. How do we make the reservation experience for the guests better and more convenient? And how do we move away from a predominantly cash-based system so we can get with more of the way that people are transactioning today? What we found is Beachy. It's a cloud-based solution that provides custom software built to improve the guest experience and really help drive revenue. So how did Beachy really improve our particular beach at Edgewater Beach and Golf Resort? Well, it really made it convenient for the guests to be able to book. They can book from anywhere, any mobile device, any PC. They can book a day out, a week out, a month out. and predominantly we want them to book, and they do book when they reserve their rooms. It also allows us the opportunity to do impulse add-ons like bonfires, paddle boards, s'mores kits, a litany of things that really can help drive revenue. From an operational side, Beachy allows us to see how much bookings we have on a particular day. It allows us to zone in on scheduling, better labor controls, which will help flow more money to the bottom line. It also saves wear and tear on our equipment. Before, we were setting out 300 or 400 sets of beach chairs on a daily basis, lugging it in and out of the sand. That can put a lot of wear and tear on your equipment. So because we know how many beach chairs we're going to have on a particular day, this really gave us an opportunity to kind of save some wear and tear on that. And lastly, what Beachy provided was a happy staff. Working as a beach attendant in Panama City Beach is not an easy job. It's hot, it's long days, and because the revenue streams increased so much, our hourly associates got a piece of that pie. So they get incentives back on all the sales, which creates a really happy staff, and we're able to retain a big core of that year after year. So it's really important for us. Look at another opportunity for improvement that's an antiquated revenue stream is just pool and beach food and beverage service. For forever, we've tried at Edgewater Beach and Golf Resort to produce a consistent experience for our guests. Edgewater is a large property, over 100 acres, and the service on the pool and beach has always been met with some poor results. Predominantly because our current point of sale system doesn't allow for a mobile solution that's consistent and reliable, predominantly because it's working off of Wi-Fi totally. So it results in poor quality of service for our guests. They wait long ticket times, they have, they don't see their server for a long period of time, so there's a lot of issues with the quality of service. And what Beachy provided for us was the ability, and their mobile POS solution was the ability for the staff to really be out and engaged with the guests. Everything's done over cellular, so the connectivity is spot on. It's consistent. Our servers are out there engaging with the guests. It's all remote printed to the kitchen. Everything's mapped out. It gets shuttled out to the staff or the guests in a timely manner. So we're real happy with the service that system has provided. So what were the results of that? So if you look at a comparison in the last 5 years, from 2017 to 2022, our beach chair and pool service or rentals went from about $350,000 to over $1 million in 5 years. I don't know about math. I'm a food guy, so 190% seems like a lot. I don't know. And our food and beverage service was an anemic $25,000 in 2017. It ballooned to over $300,000 in 2022. I think that says 1,100%. I don't know. Maybe some accountants in here can help me out. But that seems like a lot. And I think that it's really based on the software that we installed, the technology we used at that particular property that really allowed us to expand that service. So the second thing we kind of looked at was and how technology has benefited our company. In 2018, RC Hospitality Solutions managed about 1,000 units in Northwest Florida. And really the most important, or one of the most important departments, really the key that starts the car, is our reservation call center. Panama City Beach is really hyper-competitive in that particular job market, and hospitality in general, to be honest. It's really due to the influx of a lot of development, a lot of hotels and resorts coming online. So it really increased the hourly wages for call center agents or hospitality workers in general. But the quality of the labor pool did not increase. So we still had a low quality labor pool. So we really were having some challenges in terms of abandonment rate and call conversion. So we needed to find a better solution. And we needed to find a way to make that better, because those numbers are just simply not acceptable. So we started to look offshore. But we had concerns about moving offshore. Would the labor pool outsourced offshore be better than what we have in Panama City Beach? Would the guest experience be just as good? Would those agents be concentrating on our particular property? Would the guest's information be secure? Their credit card information, their emails, etc. Who would oversight the training of those call agents if we outsourced it? So these are all questions that we really had before we moved forward. And what we found is a partner in Jamaica that was called Call Center Solutions. And it really helped us enhance this particular department. The benefits of moving to Jamaica, the call center career is a very well-regarded career path in Jamaica. There's over 40,000 agents in the labor pool. They start their training as early as high school. It's a very well-regarded career path. And it's not half a world away. I mean, it's like an hour away from here by plane, and I think you can swim there in under 2 days, so you can try that. So some of the benefits of partnering with Call Center Solutions, they have a high-quality telecom infrastructure, a very secure network environment. It integrates, and we can pipe our property management system right down into that particular area. And we maintain control. Like, we supervise the agents. There's an agent here in the United States that supervises the agents down in Jamaica. They make trips down there, but they also do a lot of teleconference and Zoom calls. So we know what the agents are being trained on. We know that they have a good knowledge of our property, and we know that they're creating a comfort level for those guests as they're booking their dream vacation. So here's the result. So our call conversion rate in 2018 was 27%, which is pretty bad. So we ballooned that up to in 2021 to 57%. It's a 30% increase. I think that's great. I mean, that's a significant increase in call conversion, and we're very, very excited about that. The abandonment rate as well went down, 10.6% in 2018, down to 8.5 or 8.8%, but it was as low as 6%. There was a little thing happened in 2020. I can't remember what it was that kind of affected some of the workings that were going on in Jamaica. And so finally, in closing, I just want to say that, finding the right technology partners is extremely important. We've been blessed to find two great ones in Call Center Solutions and Beachy. In conclusion, I just want to thank everybody for suffering through my presentation. And if anybody has any questions further about Beachy or Call Center Solutions, both Mr. Stange and Mr. Wolford are here from those particular companies to help answer anybody's questions. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian McConnell. Extremely self-effacing for somebody who's such a great speaker with such a great story. I'm now pleased to bring our second speaker. Sam Kazari is SVP and Global Head of Corporate Development at Selia Hospitality. Welcome, Sam.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. How's everything? Let me see. Cool. So, who is Selia? We're the world's largest hospitality platform built for the next generation. Our customer values experience over materialistic goods. So I think when you look at the traditional hospitality world, there's no product, in our opinion, that relates to how millennials and Generation Z wants to travel. So we're focused on designing and creating meaningful experiences that provide connectivity. And our product suite is pretty diverse because we have to create a playground to diversify that sort of kind of revenue stream and to sort of keep them engaged. Our portfolio today is massive. We've got huge breadth, right? A lot of people look at us and they think that we've got a couple of hotels. We're operating in 25 countries. We're on 6 continents. There's 163 open and secured, and that means that there's 125 of them open today and fully operational. So we operate from the US all the way down to the tip of Chile, throughout sort of Europe. We are in Africa, we are in Australia, we are in Thailand. These are some of our peers, and unlike our peers, I'll get into sort of the product suite that we've built, but we build products for the community, also very, very different. Our product is based on creating an experience for the community, not necessarily the traveler, and that we feel that if you're able to do that, you can deliver really good interaction and the traveler will show up through our network. So what does our product suite look like? When we talk about diversifying revenue streams, as this sort of kind of panel is, we've got a traditional rooms business, right? But for us, the rooms business is sort of an ancillary business. It's just a place for somebody to put down their head and put down their bag. This model is really built on not spending time in your room. So what else are we layering into our box? We're layering co-working. So we had digital nomad and sort of kind of remote work on a pitch deck in 2014-15. I remember going out to private equity shops and hedge funds and everybody trying to raise capital, and everybody thought that was crazy. Why are you guys not focused on a rooms business? We provide experiences, travel, tourism. In our box, you will find cinema rooms. You will find a library. You will find a community kitchen. You will find food and beverage operators. We've got skate parks. We've got we have tattoo salons, barbers. So depending on where we're interacting and what we're doing, we're working with that community to figure out what's the right product mix. What are the different components that you need to put into this box? And that's actually helped lead to truly a diversified revenue stream. When you look at our revenue streams from the first half of this year, 57% came from the traditional rooms business. For us, we'd like to get that significantly lower. But the balance came from all these other businesses. And I'll kind of jump into some of the other ways that we're kind of further diversifying our box and our platform. But 60% of that sort of 43% comes from the community. That's non-guest revenue. So what we've done is sort of truly achieve building a box that is fully sort of diversified, and that's de-risking us from a shock to the travel system. So look, moving on, what we wanted to do initially, and I'll get into that after the next slide, was build a physical platform. That was sort of step one. We've done that. We now have the breadth. We have the global breadth. We have the box. We've got travelers. 2 million people will walk through Selia this year. We're projecting 3 million will walk through it next year. So when you take the traditional items, and now I'll call those traditional, right? Because co-work is now traditional. Any hotel or any hospitality product you walk in today is pushing a co-work product, right? It's no longer 2 desks or 2 computers in a corner defined as a business center with a printer, right? So co-work is now sort of, I think, a generation old, right? F&B, everybody is focused on F&B. The big brands, our peers, everybody's got sort of an F&B component, right? So now that becomes almost a standardized product for us, right? Cinema and library and all those other ancillary businesses, they're cute. They add some revenue, and the way we look at revenue is revenue per occupied bed, so very different than everybody being focused on sort of kind of RevPAR. For me, it's the more people I can put into a box, the more revenue I can drive through these various businesses. So now what we've done is sort of we've moved to like the second phase of what we're trying to build. And the second phase is to build sister companies and to build businesses within Selia that can kind of further diversify the revenue streams that we have and can drive revenue and drive profitability on the off season or the shoulder seasons. So what have we done? We acquired a company called Remote Year in the middle of COVID. It's more of an extended stay platform. It allows you to sort of go live, work, and play anywhere in the world. We run programs, 4-week programs, 8-week programs, 12-week programs. They don't use Selia product. So they go out, they're a sister company, they go out and they bid products. If you've ever wanted to go live in Madrid or Barcelona or anywhere else in the world, we run regular programs. And that's sort of building this traveling community and sort of introducing people to this Selia product that are very different. And we always thought that this product would cater to sort of, the average age of our customer is 32, and we thought this Remote Year product would sort of cater to that millennial and Generation Z, but it's not. The average age of people actually going on Remote Year is 50 plus. So it's a very, very different product. It's introducing a completely new customer to us. We were very focused on sort of work, live, play at a Selia. So yes, there was music events and we had parties and that's sort of kind of what happens in boxes like this. But we decided to why not formalize that and sort of launch a program called Sims. And Sims is essentially our music festival brand. It'll allow us to drive traffic in low season and in the shoulder periods in places that we're expecting lower occupancy. That'll drive profitability and that'll drive revenue, right? It's almost traveling with a purpose. And I think what we're starting to see out there in the hospitality space is, Occasion Genius is a great player that's provided a lot of data, and they're linked up with Kayak today. And Kayak is focusing on traveling with a purpose, no longer traveling for 2 or 3 days. So what we like to do with Sims is we created a program and a platform that will allow our customers to travel for a purpose. If there's no reason for them to go to Paros in Greece in the middle of December, well, we're going to give them a purpose to go there. So that helps us kind of further de-risk and diversify. And then another business that we recently sort of launched is called Mantra. So we always had retreats within our box. It was always part of our business, but we never formalized it. We had a lot of people actually coming to us, doing buyouts and using our box for retreats. And so we decided to sort of create a formal corporate retreat business that would sort of layer in a little bit different. Because what Mantra is also doing is it's also partnering with local operators. So it's not just our business, it's bringing in more people from the community into this box. And that sort of allowed us to kind of further diversify revenue stream. So you can call us a hotel, but we're running 10 to 15 different products and different sort of revenue streams through that box. And so this is sort of the evolution of Selena. So I kind of touched on, initially, right? We wanted to build this physical space. We've done that. We've accomplished that. We will continue to scale and we'll continue to grow in places that we've got operational excellence. The next part of this journey is building this experiential platform. And while we've done that within our box already, the handful of sister brands that I put up there and the handful of brands that we're going to continue to build and sort of layer in will allow us to activate spaces in our box that aren't activated. We launched a partnership with a company called 305 Fitness that was founded by an amazing girl many years ago. She had a rough time through kind of COVID, as most brick and mortar businesses did. So we partnered with her. She does a high octane cardio class. I've got a lot of empty space during the day. Why can't, there's no reason why I can't activate my space at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning while those are the quiet periods while people are working. So I think that's the way that we're looking at this. We're looking at how can you activate this box from the moment somebody wakes up to the moment that somebody goes to sleep, and can you continue sort of getting people engaged, and not only our guests, but getting people from the community. So when I looked at our Miami, when she ran a fitness class at our Miami property last weekend, 59 of the 60 people that showed up had never been into a Selena before. So now they're coming in for a workout class in a Selena. They're going to sit around. They're going to hopefully have a bite to eat or a drink, or even if they don't, we're indifferent, right? This is a very open door platform. The idea is that there's no restrictions. You can walk into a Selena anywhere in the world, open up your laptop, grab a cup of water, use the Wi-Fi and work. Nobody's going to ask you, are you a hotel guest? Why are you here? What are you doing? And that's a really, really important thing, because when you put around 10 or 15 different things that people can purchase, and they don't have to be top dollar, high dollar purchases, right? We're trying to drive $1 here, incremental value, $1 per person here, $2 here, $3 here. That adds up when you've got 2 million people coming through the box. That creates sort of flexibility and community. And then for us, I think the evolution of this is really sort of creating a platform, a community membership platform. What that looks like is sort of kind of TBD, but we've got the platform, we've got the experiences, and we think that the future of this is to create an additional revenue stream that's an ARR type business for us. Am I good on time? Oh, So thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to our story. Hopefully this was helpful. And the only thing to add is all of this is driven through technology. It has to be. We've heavily invested in our web, in our app. The only way for all of this to work is for this to be built on technology. So that's a big driver of helping diversify our revenue streams. Thank you.
The speakers are working within 10 minutes, so when I come off to the side, it doesn't mean they're out of time, it just means we're getting there. And every one of these speakers will be available during the coffee break to answer more questions. So thank you, Sam, and I'm pleased now to bring up Kevin Rohani, founder and CEO for CAMO. Kevin.
Hey guys, is this working? Can you guys hear me well? It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I will admit this is my first technology conference for hospitality. Over the last 15 years, I've been more involved in hotel development, brand building, brand development, hotel food and beverage, architecture and design. I've worked for companies like Dream Hotel Group, which recently just announced a sale to Hyatt. I've ran development for companies like SBE, which just sold to Accor. And I've worked for companies like Gensler, which is widely recognized as the largest and one of the best architecture and space planning companies in the world. So fortunately for me, my career has come across a few different variations of what makes hospitality, and I have a real 360 approach to looking at problem solving. Most recently, about 2.5 years ago, I left my post at Accor, heading development for their lifestyle division, to create a hospitality startup that was aimed to democratize hotel dining and to, realign interest between hotel owner, hotel operator, and hotel guest. One of the things that I'd learned in my experience over the last 15 years, I'd always come from lifestyle hospitality. So for those of you that are learning more about it, it's really, to me, spaces that are driven by a sense of energy and community and food and beverage. So my entire career had always been developing spaces that had energy at the ground floor, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, rooftop bars, and so forth over the last 15 years. And this small segment of the hotel industry generates massive returns on food and beverage profits. The masses, at scale, lose money operating food and beverage. And there's a litany of reasons why. And so ultimately, I had taken the leap to really bring purpose into the space to try to reimagine a forgotten art in what really made a hotel experience special. Over the last 10 years, technology has infiltrated food and beverage in ways that have brought, immense ease, convenience, speed, flexibility, choice, freedom, and so forth. And, hotels have not innovated at the same rate that the rest of the industry had. So I noticed an opportunity to create what you guys might recognize as ghost kitchens for hotels. But really what we've done is we've built a hotel-centric marketplace dining platform that leverages the underutilized kitchens that hotels sit with to offer multiple restaurant brands to multiple hotel guests so that you can maximize revenues, maximize guest experience, maximize connectivity between an ecosystem of hotels. So I'm excited to walk you guys through a little bit of what we got going on. So the current state of hotel dining is, I'm sure you guys are aware, you're staying in a hotel right now. Outdated brand standards. I've run into situations where you're looking at the brand standard of a major hotel company and they will not allow you to do, have certain technologies in hotel rooms for room service. You are required to have a door hanger at a front door with a pencil where a guest has to write their order of what they want for breakfast the next day. And so ultimately, some of these standards still need to kind of continue to evolve to allow technology to kind of seep into hotels and make experiences much better. Limited menu offerings, lack of guest-facing technology, high prices and fees, all of these really go into why hotel dining has been, kind of a lost art. And what we've seen over the last 5-10 years is hotels are now, and this is the part that really got me behind leaving my career to do something about it. Hotels over the last, few years have let their hotel dining experience and their hotel dining revenues out the door to third-party marketplaces. They now tell their guests to opt for things like DoorDash or Uber Eats. And while that's all fun and games, it's not personalized for the hotel experience. The revenue leaves the front door. The guest is not getting any positive service. I mean, can I get a show of hands here who's had an incredible DoorDash experience in the last 3 years? Anybody? Now, how about this? Who's had an incredible room service experience in the last 3 years? Now, let me see if this makes sense to you guys. What I'm going to tell you, these two stats, they happened in the same week. I saw them in the same week about 2.5 years ago, and I said, okay, I got to, work on something here. In one article, I saw that less than 25% of hotels now offer room service. That same week, I saw another article that stated that over the last 5 years, and this was pre-COVID, DoorDash's room service orders went up by 900%. So something here is not making sense to me, and I saw it as an amazing opportunity to create what really should be a central revenue stream, but is kind of traditionally looked at as an alternative revenue stream, which is really finding ways in enabling hotels to generate strong returns, revenues, profits, and guest experience as a result of food. Now, what we do that's a little bit different than what you guys might be used to or have seen in the space is we leverage so many different technologies. Essentially, over 2 years, we had dealt with 9 different technology providers and convinced them all to integrate into each other to create a stack for us to develop a room service marketplace where we use one hotel kitchen to operate 10 restaurant brands to fulfill the room service needs of 10 hotels in that market, all personalized for each property, keeping all revenues in-house and redistributed. And so essentially, this has allowed us to kind of create an asset-light approach to hotels through technology in ways they can generate revenues, whether we're in the kitchen operating it or it's a partner hotel we're fulfilling room service needs too. So, as I've kind of been talking to you guys about, hotels and their, the world of food and beverage within hotels, they have the infrastructure. They have amazing kitchens that are permitted, that are reviewed by health every year. They're an asset within an asset. They're sitting there with a captive audience. They have the infrastructure in place to really create a sense of place and experience through food, but it hasn't been there. And this is what we aim to do. So whether it's underutilized kitchens or underserviced public areas and guest rooms or uninspired guests, we believe that technology and food with strong operations can really solve all of these problems. I'm a firm believer that technology in hospitality has to empower and enable operations, not replace it. That's the thing that's been missing, the bridge between the technology and the guest, whether that's in the form of processes or a person or text communication. These things have not really yet been figured out, and we're looking to find ways to solve them. So essentially, if you look at this, the average hotel kitchen is underutilized as a result of things like brand standards. It doesn't generate any revenues from outside its four walls, okay? And hotels that don't have kitchens have no way to generate revenue off of their captive audience. So that's why we built our room service platform, which is essentially our take on a ghost kitchen. We've been running for about a year now, and our KPIs, the data that we receive from our different touch points, and the guest feedback that we've gotten has been truly remarkable, to the point that we're now getting ready to scale across the country into a ton of hotels. As you guys can imagine, most Residence Inns and Courtyards and Spring Hill Suites and Hilton Garden Inns that have these amazing kitchens, whether they're just used for breakfast or they're used for dinner, they sit there vacant. And so we have an amazing opportunity to really bring back dining guest experience within hotels, bring back dining revenues within hotels, and redistribute that amongst the ecosystem of hotels that very much needs this. So our difference is really all technology enabled, and I'll kind of walk you guys through the 4 core kind of pillars of what we do that makes us different. We leverage technology for menu management and menu development, whether it's in the form of inventory management softwares, or even we had data scientists come and develop scripts so that we can cross-utilize ingredients. There are ways to create efficiencies in every layer of food in hospitality to make it profitable at a rate that I don't think anybody understood was possible. And so, for instance, we also, as a result of menu management and development, are what I believe is the most sustainable food operator in the country with regards to hotels. As you guys know, most hotels will offer complimentary breakfast. Where do you think that food goes? And then, you walk into the hotel and it's got a sticker on the front saying, "We're green." But you're wasting $500 of food every 2 days, right? And so if you find ways to leverage technology and efficiencies and best practices, you can eliminate a lot of the problems that make you not want to do what it is that you do, right? As you guys are all aware, I'm sure, hotel restaurant operators are really the hotel manager taking a second job for the owner, right? It's not a separate company with a separate team. So you have to find these efficiencies so that hotels can generate more revenues and operate more efficiently. Easy to use digital ordering. This to me is insane that it's not everywhere in every single hotel. I know that we had mentioned kiosks earlier, whether it's kiosks or QR code ordering. We have QR codes in guest rooms where they scan, they type in their room number, they order and pay direct, they mix across a variety of brands, the food gets to them in 15 minutes. Everything is streamlined and seamless. It doesn't require people. It's built by people and structured by people and serviced by people. And so, finding ways to develop efficiencies, again, is at the core. Personalized and automated communication. When we leverage one hotel kitchen to now provide the room service needs to 10 to 15 different hotels, each hotel has personalized communication to them. If you're not a hotel that we're in the kitchen of, yet we're servicing your needs, everything is personalized around you. And one of the slides I'll show you exactly what that looks like. And then lastly, where technology is the most important to what we do. It is the lifeblood of every major hotel brand, its distribution. Everything else is frills and excitement and, oh, cool, we have this new package and we're doing this new thing for you. But the centerpiece of hotels is distribution, is generating a way to drive audience. And what's been happening in the food space over the last 5-10 years is the growth of third-party marketplaces have made it so that that's what people will leverage. Hotels will leverage their guests to use DoorDash and things like that. Ghost kitchens will leverage platforms like DoorDash to push their brands. We have developed in-house distribution that is built off of the capture rate of room service, and so 100% of our orders come from hotel guests, and 100% of our orders do not trigger sales and marketing, or delivery expenses. It's all in-house distribution. So as a result of not having any of these costs, we're able to provide better food, better service, better so forth. I see you coming up. Let me just show you the last page really quick. Like in a guest room, imagine scanning a code, typing your room, being able to mix across a variety of restaurants and having it at your door in 5 minutes. This hotel does not have a kitchen, yet they generate $400,000 a year off of our platform. And so I'm excited to talk to you guys about all things room service and food tech later. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's fantastic, Kevin. Thank you so much. I'll take the clicker. You can leave the mic up there. Thank you so much, Kevin. And for sure, I know Kevin has more to say. Seek him out during the coffee break. And we have one more presentation. I'm really looking forward to this. Kent Hatcher is Director of Product at Mint House. Kent, come on up.
All right, good morning. I'm the only thing standing between you and your coffee break, so I have a tight 90 on alternative revenue streams, so sit back and enjoy. So I'm Kent. I run product development at Mint House. You don't really care what Mint House is, but it's important for a little bit of context. We are a national hotel brand, so venture-backed, growing very quickly, and our properties range from minimal staffing model, housekeeping, periodic cleaning, to full GDS, 24-hour staffing, staff properties. And so we do this through creating kind of a different experience for our guests, leveraging multifamily properties that are thoughtfully designed and kind of beautiful with full kitchens. And so those two things are what I'm going to touch on here in a minute is the design and the kitchens. And so the case study here of how this works is our property in New York is TripAdvisor's #1 hotel in the country. So we have very well thought out, beautiful properties. And I'm running through this. And we do that through our proprietary tech stack, which kind of is an amalgamation of built in-house, but also sourced through vendors. So we're also going to kind of touch on that build versus buy discussion. So first thing first, when I came to Mint House, I brought with me this idea of design thinking, which I'm surprised, it's such a trope now that in the last 90 minutes we haven't heard that mentioned. But the very first step of design thinking is empathy. And a little vignette here, I apologize. I was traveling to Philadelphia to visit a new property of ours, and the burden of living on the West Coast and traveling to the East is you arrive at your hotel, it's 11, 12 at night, there's nothing going on, and like our previous speaker said, you kind of have to go that DoorDash route, right? And so you end up, picture me, very intimidating guy, at 2 a.m., standing on a street corner in Philadelphia, waiting for a strange car to give me a cheesesteak. It's not great. So boom, right there, empathy for our guests and what some of our executives have termed food anxiety. And so one of the benefits we have at Mint House is we have full kitchens. And so the thought was let's leverage those full kitchens to allow our guests to kind of recreate that at-home experience. And so what we've built internally is the idea that prior to check-in, guests are notified and given a curated list of grocery items, commonly purchased items that they can purchase from us, and that we will then pre-stock in their apartment. So things like breakfast foods, if your children are like mine and they're demons if they don't get their 2 Chobanis in the morning. So people traveling with kids can kind of plan ahead for items. We have the full kitchen, so you can purchase stuff to cook if you're not wanting to go out to a restaurant or utilize the DoorDash, that sort of thing. And so when we embarked on this journey, the discussion came up of build versus buy. And so we went on a roadshow of talking to all the vendors that could possibly address this for us, of how do you create an end-to-end system, front end allowing people to purchase, process the payments, and then flow that through to the operations side. And as a former Army guy, I'm always trying to think of the operations side of it, right? Someone on the ground is going to have to take this pie-in-the-sky tech dude in Seattle's idea and operationalize it for the guests in the rooms, right? And on top of all the other stuff they have to deal with. And so we talked to every grocery delivery platform you could possibly think, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let us know when it works, and maybe we'll build something. So right then and there, the build versus buy was kind of set, and we had to get scrappy, and as a smaller startup company, we were able to quickly iterate and figure out a way to do this, and it's a huge hit. Maybe some of you could talk to my marketing department about how to get more traction on it, but everybody who uses it thinks like, wow, that's a great idea. I don't have to worry about like where's the nearest QFC or Whole Foods or what have you, and they can purchase those items, and we provide that as a service that we can then capture additional revenue on. And then that platform has since grown to encompass items that are forgotten, sundries, laptop chargers, and then because we have this full kitchens, we're expanding it into now item rentals. So you could rent an air fryer, you could rent that Margaritaville margarita machine. We actually don't do those, but and so that's the first one. And then next was the design aspect of our properties. So if you're like me, constantly redesigning, rethinking your space at home, but like wine, I don't know what makes it good, I just know it's good. And so Mint House we have great interior designers. And so to leverage that as a potential alternative revenue stream, we've partnered with a company called Minoan to build out a shoppable space, if you will. And so within that space, say you like the linens or the furnishings, et cetera, you follow a QR code. What's that joke? The biggest surprise of 2020 was that QR codes are actually useful. And it takes you to a specific curated page for the property that you're staying at. So if you're staying at 70 Pine in New York or you're staying at the Ledger in Philadelphia, you're going to see different things because each property is specifically curated for that local market, right? Each one, it's not a plug-and-play model. Each one has unique furnishings. And so you can, I lost my train of thought. You can then go into this website, buy that furniture, say you really like the soap, et cetera. And so that allows us to recapture some of that revenue from these items that people like.